Hey everyone, I'm Nikki Pitts, Atlanta Realtor, and I am back to answer another popular home buyer's question. And today's question is, what is earnest money? So it's a great question. I'd say 9 out of 10 of my buyers have asked me this, so thank you for bringing it up. And it's a good question because most people are well aware of the fact that they need to be prepared for a down payment, but are usually a little confused when they hear that they need to submit earnest money. Don't worry, typically this is not extra money that you need to worry about coming up with, and the amount is usually between 1 and 3% of the sales price. Now, how much you want to submit is a decision that you get to make. It depends on how strong of an offer you'd like to present, and it's always negotiable. And before I go on, I just want to make sure to remind you that I am in the state of Georgia. This may be different. Earnest money deposits and how it's handled may be very different in other states. So just make sure that if you're hearing this information and you're not purchasing property in Georgia, be sure to talk to your local realtor about the specifics that might be very different. Okay, so another word for earnest money would be good faith money. It tells the seller that, hey, here is my offer, and just to show you that I'm serious, here I'm putting a little skin in the game. Here is 1, 2, or 3% of the sales price to demonstrate to you that I am serious about moving forward with the purchase of this home. So to answer the question, is this additional money? Not necessarily. I mean, if you have extra money beyond your down payment and closing costs, if you have an extra $5,000, $10,000 to submit for your earnest money deposit, then great. But otherwise, a lot of people just, say your down payment was $30,000, they would, agree to use maybe $10,000 of that for their earnest money deposit. And then at closing day, that $10,000 would simply be applied back to satisfy your down payment requirement to close the deal. These funds are deposited only after your purchase offer has been accepted by the seller. Usually it's deposited during the due diligence period. It's received by an escrow agent. It's placed in a trust account, and it sits there until closing day. And at closing, the amount that you deposited would be applied back to your closing costs, down payment, or any other totals that you would have needed to close the transaction. Now let's say that during due diligence, you've shown your good faith, you've deposited your earnest money, but before your due diligence period ends, you have decided that there's just too many things that showed up in the inspection report for whatever reason, and you decided, okay, maybe I don't want to move forward with this deal after all. At that point, we would notify the seller that you wish to terminate the transaction. Everyone would sign the appropriate paperwork, and those funds would be wired back to your account. It's important to remember, though, that you need to make that decision to terminate before your due diligence period ends. Otherwise, those funds, you could lose those funds to the seller for the inconvenience of them taking their property off the market while it was under contract. And your real estate agent, that's me. We are there to help you stay on track and make sure all those decisions, important decisions, are made within the due diligence window so that you don't lose that earnest money deposit. So bottom line, the earnest money is not the same as the down payment. It's good faith money that you'll need to deposit to show the seller that you're serious. If you decide during due diligence that you no longer wish to purchase the home, the deposit that you made is refunded back to you. If all is well and we get to the closing table to close the transaction, then at that point, those funds are distributed and applied back to your down payment and any other closing costs. Well, I hope you found this helpful. If you have any additional questions about the home buying process, don't hesitate to call me, text me, email me. As always, I'm here and happy to help.